You have rappers in the secular who talk about things from like an Afrocentric perspective, like Mos Def, Talib. You think Christian rap will ever grow to that point where we have whole projects that talk about those topics from that perspective?
I was hoping I was going to put some food in my mouth so I didn't have to answer that question right there. Probably, definitely, well, I don't know. I mean, I know I wouldn't dedicate a whole project to just dealing with one particular topic. I feel like there's so much to be covered to just spend a whole album just to talk about one particular thing, because I feel like there's so many things that ails not only just this world, but people who come from a particular people group. I think it's useful to communicate that stuff, though. I think it's very important to touch on it, because if the only people who are going to talk about what race or what culture and identity means are people who are not coming from a biblical perspective, then there's something wrong with that. Like people need to hear what this says the Lord, and I think what better people than than the five of us sitting here.
What up, y'all? It's your boy R to the A to the S. Yes, Rise. Here with Perceivable Cost of Law. They want to talk about, Christians' response to the whole Eric Garner, Ferguson situations. All right. Now, what you saw was a clip from an interview that I was a part of. I wasn't the only one there, but it was basically people from the media. And yeah, your boy Roz, I know I ain't part of the media, but hey, I got in there. All right. And I was able to ask which was the current roster of Reach Records at that time, which consisted of Pro, aka Darren Minor, Trip Lee, Tadashi, Shobarak, and of course Lecrae. And my question was really, sort of to challenge them to really think about, can we get you guys to really step up when it comes to being in the forefront of talking about black issues? And you saw Shobaraka's answer. And, some 4 years later, things have definitely changed. I just want to talk about that change and things that's happening with Reach and just Christians in general. What I've seen, their response to these type of situations that are happening. Of course, the obvious one I want to start out with is Trip Lee's. Trip Lee, of course, you probably heard the song. Is it called "Should Have Been Me" or something like that? Could Have Been Me. I was actually surprised that he put out that song, and for a number of reasons. Obviously, I never knew he went through those things he talked about, from his teenage years to being thought of as a thug, which is crazy to me. Trip Lee and thug never went together, all right? That sounds like an oxymoron, all right? Trip Lee is the most harmless person you could think of, all right? If I was in a dark alley with Trip Lee and Justin Bieber, I'd be more scared of Justin Bieber. I'd be scared he might throw some eggs on me or something. So I was kind of surprised that Trip Lee went through that. I mean, talked about that, and going to the store and being thought that he was trying to rob the store with his BlackBerry, all right, which is crazy. But Trip Lee, can you imagine that? Trip Lee robbing a store? I just can't see it. But hey, they looked at his skin color. They didn't care he was Trip Lee with the baby face. They just looked at a brother, light-skinned brother, and said, hey, he coming to rob us, all right? Then he, handcuffed by the police, thought he was a suspect. And he is really in the song just talking about being a black man, a young black man in America, and things he has faced. And you have to, like I said, looking at Reach back then and looking at them now, they are definitely more comfortable, definitely more in the forefront of talking about issues of race. Now, why is that changed? I mean, I have my theories. I think Barack influenced that. I think propaganda influenced that. I think there have been some, number of people have influenced that change. And probably some people I don't even know who have influenced that change. But, this is definitely a different reach. And it's definitely a time within whatever you want to call the genre, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely a different time within the genre where artists are definitely more outspoken about Afrocentric issues. And I think that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing. You got to read Triple E Blah. That's another good thing that he talked about being, a black man in America and the things that he was feeling. Looking at the Eric Garner situation and seeing how that brother was. I know y'all gonna get mad, some of y'all gonna get mad, but in my view, he was choked out, all right, to death. And the cops, as usual, got away with it. So, definitely seeing that he's speaking out. And you got to look at it. This is going to be real controversial. I don't care. I'm going to say it. You got to look at their Reach Records fan base, mainly are white Christians, right? Whether young or old, they are white Christians. And for a lot of white Christians, they don't want to hear about these things. Some of them want to pretend that these type of things don't exist, or it's not as big as the media makes it out to be, or et cetera, or we shouldn't look at race, all these types of things. And so this is pretty brave on their part to speak out, knowing that they're gonna lose fans. Just even him making a song like this, he gonna lose fans. Period. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna gain them, he gonna lose some. But despite that, still speaking out on issues of injustice, and not being silent and not playing the fence, that is a brave thing. You look at former Reach Record artist Darren Minor, he put out a song Stranger, just trying to get people to look at a different perspective from their own. And particularly talking to, again, their fans. Particularly, let's just put it out there, talking mainly to white Christians. And challenging them in this area. Now, this ain't the first, this ain't like Triple E like the first time. He's done things like that on, various songs. But again, this is something very radical and different for hip-hop artists, in this genre who are Christian, whatever you want to call it, all right? I don't feel like getting into none of the debates. So this is definitely something different. Then you look at Lecrae. You see how he's transformed. After the Ferguson verdict, he's in Atlanta. He's out there with the people. He's out there being a leader. He's out there marching. Not just, hey, I'm going, I'm an artist, I'm going to preach the gospel. No, I'm going to be out there with the people and meet the needs of the people and try to talk to people and try to get them a different perspective, try to get them to look at things, from a different way. This, again, from when Reach started till now, there's definitely been a radical change, And this genre is becoming more, what I asked about, in that question, is becoming more Afrocentric. Now, when I asked that question, back in the day, I didn't get a chance to explain it, but just what we see now, I was really asking just to see, what they think. Can we have these Christian versions of, the Talibs, the Most Def, that are here to speak out, on issues that are happening today? And we're seeing that, not just reach, what I'm saying, people like Swoop. You got people like Javon McKenzie. There are Christians, black Christians, who are stepping up, not afraid of their white fans, and stepping up and speaking about these issues. Now, will they receive persecution? Yes. Will they lose fans? Yes. But despite of that, they're still standing by their convictions. And they're saying what they're saying. They're talking about being black and what it means to be black. You know what I'm saying? If you see my discussion on Lecrae's last album, Nami, he talked about those issues as well. So I'm definitely happy to see people are stepping up and talking about black issues, Afrocentric issues, issues of justice, issues of race. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time, but finally we have some leaders who are Christians, young Christians who are stepping up, you know what I'm saying, who rap, who are stepping up and speaking about these issues. And, willing to lose. You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to take the cost? And we're seeing artists are. So I'm definitely happy about that. That's my thoughts on this, man. Love to hear yours. See what costs the blog. Hope it sets them out.